going on, y'all? Peace and love. Welcome back one more again. This is Saintz Kitchen, brought to you by Grindhouse, where we bring you plant-based vibes from the heart to the soul. Now what we have here is something that is finger licking, but it ain't chicken, all right? It's fried oyster mushrooms, and it's gonna be bomb. We're gonna make it flavorful and all that. You know how we do here. So the ingredients that we'll be using here today, we have our star feature of today is our oyster mushrooms. Now, give you a little tidbit, oyster mushrooms, there's that, and then there are king oyster mushrooms. Our first episode, we used king oyster mushrooms where we shredded them and made tacos with that. Not to be confused with regular oyster mushrooms, but just keep in mind that oyster mushrooms are the ones that are fanned out, that look like the shell sign, and king oyster mushrooms are the ones with the skinny or fat stems with the small tops, all right? So just make sure to keep that in mind, okay? So we have our star, our regular oyster mushrooms, black pepper, sea salt, adobo seasoning, like a nice vegan, healthier replacement. We got some nooch or nutritional yeast. We got some onion powder, some garlic powder, a little bit of parsley, and we have some spelt flour that I'll be using today. Now, I'm using spelt flour because that's what we have. You can use chickpea flour or cornstarch or cornmeal for an even crispier take, but the take that we're doing here is just fine. Spelt flour is a really healthy grain, a lot of fiber, it's a whole grain, and it's also alkaline. Basically, what you want to do with this, it's very easy to use. These mushrooms come on a core, so you have your core and you have your shoots coming off of it. A rule of thumb with different plant-based protein substitutes that you can use is that you want to make sure the textures that you're using are the more softer textures. If something is really tough, it may not be usable. You can probably try to tenderize it, you know, poke some holes in it to make it more thin so oil can get in between the crevices and stuff. But for something like this, you want to just take it off the core. Sometimes it's very easy and you can just pull it right off, and that's what we'll do here. Other times you'll have to actually use a knife and do that. So we're just gonna peel. These little small pieces, we don't really need them, you know. It can be maybe like a fried garnish for something like, I don't know, like a salad or something like that, or a taco. So the first thing we'll do, we're just gonna get our pieces, make sure we have them. One thing as well that you wanna keep in mind, that even if these things come off the core super easy, this very end, this very tip, if you think it's too hard and not really as soft as the rest, just tear it off. And we're gonna do about 3 bundles. When you get one, they probably come in bundles like this, and you're gonna pull it off. Let's say you get dried oyster mushrooms, you can get that too. Many places to get them. I've seen them at Market Basket, not the dry ones, but ones like this. Market Basket, the shops by my crib got mad oyster mushrooms. If you wanna get some in bulk, they have many grow kits. I'm actually gonna be growing my own oyster mushrooms so I can have this on deck all the time. This is a really good chicken substitute. If like you want something really close to that texture. You can also say it's a great calamari type texture too. So one or the other I would actually replace this with. And it all comes down to how you season it. Like our palates, you know, our tongue, they look like flavor and texture. So if you got the flavor down and the texture down, you winning. You know? So now that we have our mushroom pieces all cut, let's prepare our wet batter. Put this to the side. I like putting the seasoning in first, even when I do the dry batter, putting the seasoning first to make sure I have enough of the seasoning, and then putting, whether it's the milk or the flour in, and having that take color. So as long as like your bases have color to it, I feel like it's good to go. And once again, you want to taste as you go. So let me just kick it off with some of this adobe. I'm gonna leave some for the dry. Some onion. A little parse. Don't be sparse with the parse. A little garlic. And a little bit of noochie. Nooch is not, you know, you don't really need it like that, but you know, it gives like a nice cheesy flavor to things. So it does give like a little savory umami type flavor mixed with everything else. So I like to use it. And we'll put a little bit of salt. Boom. Put a little bit of milk in it. Fiends love it. Shout out my Raekwon fans. Whisk. All right. So I'm just gonna put these in here. I may actually add more wet batter because I'm gonna use this bowl for the dry batter. So I'm just gonna throw it all in here, yo. Use this spoon. Yeah, I definitely need some more, so let's get it going here. I should have said it earlier. Cleaning them. You wanna make sure, not even for oyster mushrooms, but cleaning any kind of mushroom, they absorb water really fast, and a lot of it. So it expands a lot, and especially when you're cooking it, when you're trying to pan fry it or anything like that, it takes much longer for the water to actually evaporate. So rule of thumb is really you get like a damp towel and look for the dirt and just brush all the dirt off of that. So you're not struggling later. Stir it around, press it in, it's absorbing the seasoning. You're gonna see more and more of it be embedded in the oyster mushroom. You know, depending on how you shape it too, you can cut it up. You can actually blend it up a little bit or pulse it, make it into a patty. Put some cornstarch, make like a chicken sandwich or even like chicken nuggets. While that's there, let's just make our wet batter, or our dry batter rather. All right. You wanna get good color, so. Like I said, you can be generous with your seasoning just to make sure your flour has color, but you wanna add the salt at the end. Put the garlic. I'm gonna be generous. I would say at least a tablespoon of each ingredient, you know, besides the salt and the pepper. Maybe like just a teaspoon with the parsley. Put about 1/3 of a cup of flour. I like to do it little by little just to mix it up and make sure I got a color that I like. Yeah, I'm gonna need some more, Def. And you wanna eyeball it too, you know? A lot of people are kind of scared to eyeball. Just go little by little, that's all you gotta do, you know? Give yourself some patience and some grace. Go little by little. You wanna make sure you have enough flour that's gonna stick on your oyster mushrooms, all right? I'm gonna actually put some more. Dope. So we have our dry rub. Now we're gonna mix it up. You don't wanna overstuff it if it looks like it may be that, because you're gonna get super clumpy. All right, start with that. Cover it. If you have any kind of Tupperware, any shallow vessel or deep vessel rather. You're gonna shake it up. We are ready to go. Yeah, this is gonna be some thick breading. Now, one thing I do, I don't like double breading it because sometimes double breading oyster mushrooms, it gets super thick. Like the breading is so thick, inside of it is like mad slimy. So I wouldn't recommend double dipping it. You know what I mean? So maybe with a different kind of flour you can do that with, but with this I wouldn't recommend it. So once in the dry batter, once in the wet batter, once in the dry batter, and into the oil, and then that's it. Now, I know we've said it before, we'll say it again just for people who are checking in for the first time now, that grapeseed oil is a really good neutral oil that we're using, and for the most part we'll be using it anything we have to cook or fry. Reason being is because grapeseed oil has a really high smoke point, meaning oils that have a smoke point and start smoking at a low degree point, it's more carcinogenic, which means it causes cancer within the body. So it could be olive oil, Olive oil is good raw, but cooking it too much or frying food is not good for that. Canola oil, like what the fuck is a canola? I don't know what that is, you know what I mean? So don't use that shit. Vegetable oil, it's like, you know what I mean? Like what kind of vegetables? Corn, we already know corn be on some crazy GMO fish food type shit. So rapeseed oil is a good oil to use. Really, it's not too expensive, cheaper than avocado oil. Make sacrifices, man. You know what I mean? That's all what it boils down to. It's like what? $1, $2 max more. It'd be at Market Basket and that'd be all over the hood. So grapeseed oil, get that. Neutral taste, it will not change the taste. It does not taste like grapes, don't taste like seeds, nothing like that. So without further ado, let's fry our oyster mushrooms. Put the whole joint right here. All right. Now we're going to let it get hot and then we'll start frying the goodness. All right, so you want to make sure you have it heating up on medium heat. You can do higher if you want to, if you're a daredevil with the flame. And I'm just gonna place these in. You want to make sure you have enough space too. If you put too much in here, then it won't fry as well. Put one more. Leave it back there for now. You can pan fry it too, so this is a more of a deep fried method. If you just have like a more shallow skillet, you can just pan fry it as well. Same difference. You can even cut it a little bit to shred it a little bit, and you kind of have like a pulled chicken as well. But this is really, really good finger food right here. Let it go till it gets really nice and like a dark golden brown. Hold on. All right, so it's interesting. This is definitely like a fried chicken, even like more flavorful than that a little bit. And I don't know how to call it in English, but my Haitians know about marinade. It's like a fried dough. The way this is seasoned, very much tastes like a marinade, or like a fritai. Fritai is just fried finger food. And this is what this is. If you want to give your kid something that's healthier, but still tastes good and still is bite-sized to eat, this is perfect. You want to make a side dip, let's say buffalo sauce, melt some butter, melt some vegan butter, put some hot sauce in it, mix it up, toss it with this, mad bomb. Teriyaki, some teriyaki sauce, maybe a little bit of that with some soyaki, whatever like that. Sesame seeds, a little bit sesame oil, toss it up, serve it like that. This, highly recommended, highly recommended. Try it out, you never know. Try it out, see how you like it. We love it over here. So once again, we made fried oyster mushrooms today. Saint's Kitchen, man, brought to you by Grindhouse. We're signing off today, and we'll see you next time, man, from some more plant-based vibes from our heart to the soul. Peace and love.